Hi everyone, so today we'll introduce how to real-time synchronize data to Hologres using Flink. So let's first quickly go through today's workflow. So for today's example, we basically used MySQL as our data source, and we'll need to synchronize data from MySQL to Hologres using Flink, and we'll also configure like change data capture using MySQL binlog. And after then, we basically also build up several layers inside of our Hologres data warehouse and enabled binlog between them to make sure that we capture all the data changes. We have built up an ODS layer which stores our raw data, and DWD which stores all the details of our data, and also DWS which summarizes our data in different dimensions in order to carry out further analysis. And if you have such business requirements, you can also build up an ADS layer which makes it more suitable to carry out business intelligence analysis. So now let's take a look at the data we'll be using today. So here on MySQL, I have basically created these two tables. So we're basically mimicking a scenario where a mobile phone retailer tries to record their product information and their sales transaction information. And there is a product info table that basically records all the product information, including their product ID, their product name, and their price, and also a sales records table that basically records the transaction ID and also the product ID and year of transaction, quantity and price, etc. So now let's jump right in. So the first thing we'll need to do is that we'll need to create a MySQL catalog. So basically what we'll need to do is just click Create Catalog, select MySQL, and then click Next, and then configure everything here. So for MySQL data catalog on Flink, binlog would be automatically enabled. So we don't really have to do any further stuff to enable our binlog. And the next thing we'll need to do is that we'll need to create a Hologres catalog. So for Hologres catalog is a bit different. The binlog of Hologres catalog cannot be automatically enabled through the user interface here. So we'll need to create our Hologres catalog using script. So this is the script we use to create our Hologres catalog. Okay, the next thing we'll need to do here is that after we have created for both MySQL and Hologres catalog, we'll need to basically carry out this part, which is to synchronize data from MySQL to Hologres and configure the change data capture. So we basically did it here. Yeah, so this is how we do change data capture. So we basically create a table that is exactly the same as what we have in our MySQL database. And we also configured our change data capture lines. So after we've done this, what we do on Flink is that we can deploy the script and then make sure we start running it in the deployments module. Yeah, there will be a little button for you to start it after you have deployed it into the deployments module. So after data are successfully synchronized from MySQL to Hologres ODS layer, we still need to like synchronize it from ODS layer to DWD and make sure that all the detailed information are contained in our DWD layer. So this is how we did it. We basically sort of like aggregated all the fields into this wide table, which we call DWD sales detail, and we basically joined these two tables together. And here we'll make sure that since the binlog of DWD has to be captured by DWS layer, we still need to enable binlog for our DWD layer table. So this is how we did it. We also configure like binlog on our DWD layer as well. And for the next step, it will be to configure our DWS layer. So here we basically did a bit of like aggregation and also data integration to make sure that we have a sort of like summary view of the data that we have. Yeah, so this is basically how we did it. Yeah, and this basically represents this part. So here, if you want to build up an ADS layer that consumes the binlog from DWS layer, you have to make sure that the binlog is enabled for your DWS table as well. So after all these, we can basically take a look at our data on Hologres. So here we can basically just execute this query, and we can basically see that like all the binlog information and also the data summary information are gathered here in our DWD sales detail table. And if we want to find out what we have on our DWS table, we can also do similar things. So we'll just need to change this into the table name of our DWS table. And then we hit running. And then here we can see that like all the binlog information and also all the like sort of like sales summary information are recorded here in the sales summary table. Okay, here we also prepared 2 more records to confirm that the change data capture function is really working. So we are basically inserting a new product, which is called 荣耀, into our data set. And also we would need to make sure that it has its corresponding sales record here as well. But since right now we haven't inserted the data yet, let's see what would happen if we query for that data. So we'll just need to copy this, and then we just need to try to find out the product ID. Like we just need to try to find out the record for which the product ID is 600. So we'll just need to add another parameter which specify the product ID is 600. Yeah, and then we can run it. Yeah, and there's nothing here because we haven't inserted these 2 lines of data yet. So let's see what would happen if we inserted these 2 lines of data. Yeah, it says it's successful, and we can take a look at this. Yeah, we just need to refresh the whole page. And then try running this query again. Okay, perfect. So after running this query again, we can find out that this inserted line, this new record matches exactly the same with the line that we inserted here. So the brand name is 荣耀, the product ID is 600. Yeah, and it matches exactly with it here. It basically shows us that the change data capture through binlog between Flink and Hologres is actually working. Okay, so that's basically it for today's demo. Today we basically demonstrated how to run this whole workflow on Flink and Hologres. If you have any further questions, please feel free to contact us. Thank you very much for watching.